something in my hands right now. Aren't you wondering what it is? Well, what I have got here isn't an object. It isn't exactly an idea, and it is very significant. It's curiosity. A very warm welcome to everybody present here. I am Ashvika, and I am here to share my thoughts with you. Every single idea, every ideal thought, every small step, every huge achievement, every strong victory, and every successful failure has a silent captain: curiosity. Creativity is thinking of new things. Innovation is doing new things. And inventions are the new things. But there won't be any creativity, innovation, or invention without curiosity. Albert Einstein, known for his innumerable concepts. Marie Curie, the first woman who won a Nobel Prize. Isaac Newton, known for his groundbreaking discovery of gravity. And the Wright brothers, who made human flight possible, were all driven by curiosity. They were just the first few who started the spark, after which thousands of people began growing curious and started to test their limits. To me, curiosity is a spark that turns questions into revolutions. What if the next Einstein was just a kid in class asking weird questions? We'll never know. Curiosity is the invisible force which split the atom, built the wheel, and sent us beyond the stars. What if the most powerful tool we have isn't wisdom, but the hunger to know more? You do not have to be ready to start being curious. You just need to begin. Just wonder, what if? Those are two extraordinarily powerful words. What if I created a structure on which I could sleep instead of lying on the bare ground? That's how mattresses were made. What if I randomly blend a couple of fruits with milk? I just made myself a smoothie. And what if I mash something up and put it between two slices of bread? I got a sandwich. Just wonder and keep experimenting. And remember, always listen to that curious voice inside your head. My name is Ashvika, but to many people, I am the one who likes reading books. That was also a result of my curiosity. Not very long ago, I absolutely hated reading. You would never see me with a book anywhere. But that changed when my brother introduced me to books. I still wasn't very interested. And that changed the moment my mom started reading those books aloud to me. The moment she started pronouncing those words, I was captivated and enthralled. But this had a twist too. My mom would read me only one chapter a day. This book was a small book. That meant small chapters. And that meant the end of a chapter would be there in seconds. And the moment my mom used to complete a chapter, my tiny head used to start bubbling with questions. What will happen to this character? What is going to happen next? And most importantly, when will mom read it to me again? And after a few days, I just couldn't take it anymore. My curiosity got the better of me. I grabbed the book and started reading it myself. Now it's not just books I like, it's reading. But everything has its own limits, even curiosity. Have you ever heard of the saying, curiosity kills the cat? Well, there is a reason such a saying exists. Exploring the unknown has its own risks, especially when people warn you not to do so. I advise you to be curious about the right things, like trying a new recipe or learning a new sport. Not wandering off on your own into the unknown just because you were curious. You may get eaten by a shark, you may starve, or the possibilities are infinite. Let me make the scenario more relatable. You are a kid and your parents ask you not to go outside when they are not around. But you're curious, so you wander outside when they are not around. Trust me, there won't be any sharks in the streets, but there will be strangers without good intentions. So be curious about the right things. I would like to give an example of myself. I decided to stand for the student council elections in my grade 5. The moment those circulars were distributed, I had already decided I wasn't going to participate. My mom just encouraged me to try it, but I still wasn't convinced. But I was curious. I was curious about what exactly was there in that position. My grade 5 classroom was located in the ground floor past the reception, and we had to submit the form in the reception. So when I was walking past the reception, something clicked in my mind. And then where my mom's encouragement had not worked, my curiosity did. So I submitted the form. And believe me, I did not know when the interview was. I just saw a couple of students running in rain for the interview, and then I joined them. And the moment I sat down, these teachers started bombarding me with questions. What would you do if you become the captain? Why do you think you're fit for this role? I answered honestly, and I honestly do not think I'm going to be selected. But I was selected. I was one of the finalists. I did not win, but I still count it as a valuable experience. And thanks to curiosity, I got this valuable experience. Starting the spark of curiosity seems to be an interesting topic. The reason I chose it, my cousin, his name is Kritik and he studies in grade 4. And if I would describe him in one single word, it would always be curious. Every time we meet, he used to ask me a dozen questions. And without his knowledge, it actually pushed me to be more curious. So when I was brainstorming and I leaned back and I saw him, I thought, why not give curiosity a try? And turns out I wasn't wrong. All of these scenarios about curiosity, let me make it more relatable. Take life as a diamond mine. Every question you ask is equal to digging out a precious gem. So, the more questions you ask, the more wealthy you become and the more happier you are. Same applies here. The more questions you ask, the more curious you become and the more knowledgeable you become too. Or you could take curiosity as a compass. If curiosity was a compass, it would always point towards your passion. So when you really like your passion so much, you'd probably choose it instead of fixed paths. And when you do that, you create new opportunities, not only for yourself, but for others too. And there's a whole new part to curiosity as well. So when you're curious, it stimulates your brain's reward system. That leads to the release of dopamine. Dopamine enhances your motivation and increases your memory power. So being curious, especially at an old age, can help you battle cognitive decline. And not only that, you can start a spark at an age even so old. Curiosity is the key to opening lots of doors. How? Because you have to be curious enough to turn the key in the lock. Wondering why does that happen when you see something odd, rearranging your room just to see how it feels, Googling a random fact after an intriguing conversation, inquiring about somebody's culture instead of just assuming, asking about somebody's job and inquiring with follow-up questions, and wondering how does that work from elevators to vending machines. All of these count as keys. And it's time for you to turn the key in your lock. And to make all of this simple, I would like you to think of curiosity as a lens. L for looking around, E for examining details, N for navigating mysteries, and S for seeing beyond. And there's a whole new part I would like to address as well. When you look at something, you see it in multiple ways. Let me give an example. There's person A, and there is person B, and there's a problem. So person A might think this problem is not significant and let's just ignore it. But person B might think this problem is very significant. We have to give top priority to this. I am talking about perspectives. When you need change in the world, you need change in perspectives too. So, let me give an example from my classroom. You view a dustbin as a dustbin, but me and my classmates view it as a basketball hoop through which you throw trash. You probably view corridors as just corridors, but most of us view it as playgrounds. Same thing, different perspectives. Different artwork, culture, traditions, and beliefs, when viewed through different eyes, may mean different things to different people. So many differences here, right? Let me simplify. Something a person does, it may be a gesture, it might seem odd to you until you understand what's really behind it. Then it might become something beautiful. Let me give some more examples. So, lighting lamps during Diwali may be just decorative for a few people, but for others, it might symbolize the triumph of light over darkness. For a few people, Japanese tea ceremonies might just be decorative, but for others, it might mean reflecting on something in mindfulness. Something a person does may seem wrong to you until you stand there in their position at their situation. Then, believe me, you'll change your mind. In conclusion, I would like to encourage everybody to start being more curious. And when you're curious, you should be ready to start seeing things in different perspectives. So, free your curiosity, change your perspective, and start the spark. Thank you.